The feeling of fear and anxiety in a nation full of hate, killing and bad energy affecting the physical and psychological health of Nigerians. What is the answer to all those problems we are faced with? Welcome to the Dailies on Ekwa Television. I'm Owolabi Tosin and I'll be reviewing papers alongside Sele Elisha. Good morning, Sele.
Morning, Tosin.
Morning. I would like us to talk about the killings in Jebubasa, which is Miongo. Right from the beginning of this week, from Monday, there have been attacks on in this community that is on the plateau. That's the Miongo community. And to our awareness, there was a letter sent to these people. You know that before these attacks are being launched, they send in letters to these people, and all these letters should not be handled with levity. Should not say it's just a letter. There is nothing that will follow up, because after these letters, there are attacks that take place. They launch an attack, and we see that properties were burnt, lives were even, people were killed, and businesses were destroyed. What do we have to do concerning all these things? Because Nigerians, we need to take action, swift action. And to my understanding, there's a checkpoint that is close to this place. But what is the police? What is the military who are mounted in this checkpoint? What are they doing? I know when you are in a checkpoint and you hear that there's an attack in a place, you are supposed to go there to look out ways you can rescue. Why do we have militaries in all these places? You're supposed to rescue people that are in distress. But what are we doing about it? Just recently, the police they gave vans to the police, and even gave this phone, the phone, and even gave Nigerians the numbers to call while in distress. But when you place this call, what will happen? We see that in people say after 5 hours, people raided in our communities, people killed and destroyed properties for over 8 hours before the police could come, and the police came the next morning. What do we have to do? Is it that as individuals now we should not rely on our security agencies any longer? If our security agencies are not doing the work they are demanded to do, then we should not have security any longer in our country. Because what's the essence of seeing securities all around? We have the police, we have the soldiers, we have the civil defense, we have different security outfits. Then why do we have those people? If they are not doing, we even have the joint task force. If you are not doing what you are supposed to do, then we should not have any security official any longer in our country. We should know that everybody to himself, everybody should look out for ways he or she can protect himself and his family, and won't protect his or her properties. Because if you have security agencies and they're not doing what they are supposed to do, then what are we saying? Look at Miongo, look at Kaduna. Just after 24 hours of the attack in the railway station, where over 970 lives were and people were killed, some missing, some kidnapped, then we see that we had attack again on the highway where they kill people. What are we doing? I think that if we have issue like this, then there should be a proactive measure immediately. We should not wait till there's a problem before we send our security outfit to such places. If you see that there are information you hear that things are happening in such places, send your military men there. But you see that after this, the people came out to block the highway, and nothing is happening, and people were killed in that process, in a time where election is just by the corner. Is this what we are supposed to be faced with as individuals? It's affecting psychologically, physically, and even mentally. Because see, they're doing different kind of things. It's affecting people's mental health with all these things. Imagine you can't sleep any longer. The sound of gunshots, seeing your loved ones lying down lifeless. We need to do something, Sele.
It's really sad, just like you said. And I still have to ask, why do we have checkpoints? Why is it called a checkpoint? It's for you to check what is happening at that point in time, and to also check your environment to be sure that where you are stationed, that you take good care of it. But I don't know why we are treating all this thing with levity. I wonder what the security agency actually, when they actually take an oath, what did you oath? What did you take? You say you're going to protect lives and property because that is your responsibility. That back was then when a security agency will be proud to say that I died at my place of service. We always have remembrance for those who died. But I wonder why right now we're having the police and the soldier acting very sluggishly. If you even reporting, they'll tell you we don't have fuel in our vans, we cannot come and do anything about it. And just like you said, Nigeria is bleeding too, so we need to tell ourselves the truth. And if we don't rise up and do something, I keep saying this and I'll say it without apologies, the Nigerian flag is stained with blood. We need to stand up and do something about that. I'm going to hand over to our kids that kind of flag. We say green, white. What does white stand for? Peace. But yet we cannot see peace anywhere. You said it, psychologically we're traumatized because of that. Our properties, businesses, we can't even go to the farm to even look for food. Okay, look at the fact that the mango crisis has started. Is it a crime for me to have pesticides in my farm to protect my plants? Is it a crime? And I should just allow cows to go into the farm and do whatever they feel like doing? Since when do we value cows more than human beings? We need the government to come out and give us answers. We elected you into position not to go there and eat taxpayers' money, but to work. I've said the leadership is about serving, and if we don't stand up and serve, then if you're not ready to serve, then get out of the place. You're not ready. Because we're really tired. We're really, really tired, and we need answers. I just hope that the government are actually planning on doing something. They should be on their toe. If it means they need to call the security agency to sound some warning into them, maybe they have forgotten their responsibility, then they should be served at one side. They will know why they, or if they are not ready, then they should leave the checkpoints. Just like you said, let everybody go about protecting himself. We have our knives and we have arrows. Maybe we'll go about that. But we really need the government to do something, because it's not something beautiful. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the north has been on attack. Residents of Kaduna cannot even sleep. Okay, we have 8 persons that have been killed in Kaduna, right? The Abuja Kaduna train, about 8 persons are killed. We have to say about 2 or so are injured. The rest, we don't even know where they are. So for how long are we going to continue moving like this? We just hope that something will be done. So just like we always say, once we are able to tackle insecurity, then we are done. And we should stop calling them bandits, just like they always say. They are terrorists. Let's call them who they are. They are terrorists, and let them be treated like one. I just hope we'll actually be on our tour, and the government are actually listening, and they'll do something about this.
Yes, Sele. That's why I say, after the convention, what's next? Take proactive measures in your state. Look out for ways you can secure lives and properties. We need to handle this issue of security. And I call on the people of Kaduna State and even the government of Kaduna State. Do something about the killings that are happening. The highways are not safe. People are not safe, even down to their community level. We need to see proactive measures being launched in securing lives and properties in Nigeria as a whole. Let's start with the first paper, Sele.
Okay, the first paper I'd like to take is the Daily Trust newspaper. Oil windfall, Algeria pays jobless citizens as Nigerians spend on subsidy. Buhari watches a Super Eagles surrender 2022 World Cup ticket to Ghana. Why I dump PDP for NNPP. This is coming from Kwakwaso. And the big story, the Abuja Kaduna train bumping, 9 killed, dozens missing, survivors recount ordeal. With the rider outraged as medical doctor, MBTE director and others killed. Ex-Zamfara deputy governor and others injured, Nigeria mourns. We have the COAS IGP order manhunt of terrorists, and we can see the picture story of those who were killed as a result of the bumping of the Abuja Kaduna train. We actually send our condolences to the families that were affected, and we hope that with this will be an eye-opener for our security agency and also to the government. Let's not treat things with levity, just like we say. We should be open about. If a letter has been sent, let us take it with all seriousness. when we say there is something, we should be stationed because we have DSS. That's why they should be the intelligence of the armed force, for Christ's sake. So they tend to know what is supposed to be done beforehand. So let them be stationed. And I've said, if we want a different result in Nigeria, we need to do things differently. If it means for us to seek for foreign, because the economy will be back and about again. So that's all on the Daily Trust newspaper.
Thank you, Celia. On midweek, Al Jazeera, Kwankwaso dumps PDP, joins Eden PP. World Bank develops action plan against the gender-based violence, and police foil attack on Dangote refinery. Details can be found in page 12 of the midweek Al Jazeera. Domestic debt services go up 2.1 trillion naira in 2021. This is from the Debt Management Office. Why CBN is investing much in agriculture, coming from the President, Godwin Emefiele. Sele, just believe you me, even if we invest much in agriculture and the proactive measures are not taken on tackling insecurity, it's just like dropping water in a well, because we need to tackle this issue of insecurity. Just in Sokoto State, within the week, 4 farmers were killed in their farmland because they did not allow the herdsmen to bring their cattle into the farm for the cattle to feed on the crop. Imagine how you go through the stress of getting the seedlings killed, and not just in Sokoto State, we see it in even different states where farmers are killed right in their farmland. And we are investing much in agriculture. How do you expect all these things to thrive with insecurity, the fear of going to the farm, the fear of even going to the stream now, not just the farm? Agricultural sector, what do you expect to see out of all this? That's why we have this food scarcity and the food insecurity now. Foods are not available any longer in the market, and when you see the food, the prices have skyrocketed because of what? Farm crops and bring them to the city. They are scared because the roads are not secured any longer for them. You see, the highway now is now a soft spot for banditry attack. You kidnap people on the highway, you demand huge sum of money from those people. How do you expect the family to get this money to give? Go to your businesses. We don't have the petrol to run our businesses. The light is not there. Scarcity of light. To even youths that are trying to look out for ways they can help themselves. And to my surprise, look at the convention. You can imagine the number of youths that were shouting and campaigning things in those places. This is the time where they will go to you with how much? For your life. People even die on the spot and nothing is happening. You need to take action for their life. You are the one to give account of your life. You should take action and be responsible. Look at the strike now in schools. This another way to distract these people. House of Rep member who said he has 29 children. Why can't you bring your children, all of them, out on the street for them to raise placard for your opponents or for your colleagues? If it's that easy, you should do it. But we should not treat actions of things we do. We need to take proactive measures in things we do. We should know that we are accountable for what we do. In moving our country forward, we should not just continue to say the government. Even you as an individual, you have a part to play. If you say no to be used as a thug, then it won't happen. Then if it's easy, they should bring their children. And if it's not easy to bring your children to be used as thug, then we will not have issue of thugs being on our streets any longer. We need to look into this. If you are trying to create job for yourself, then the government should not be the one dragging you behind again in making the environment not conducive. Go back to the farm, you're investing agriculture available. There is the insecurities on the high rates, and again there are no food for people. Hunger is killing people. You see children caught up with kwashiorkor and different sicknesses as in the hospital. We need to look into all these things. We need to look into all this and also look out for ways we can make living conducive for Nigerians. So I'm not saying bring it out of your money. This is the money of taxpayers. Invest it in the right places. And still on Al Jazeera, we have JAMB meets head of institution over 918.264 undisclosed admission. And what this is talking about, the illegal admission that we are having, how it's affecting people who are going for service. You see that when you want to be clear, that's where issues come up with illegal admission. So we need answers. We need the JAMB and even the institutions to clarify all these issues so that after school you won't go out when you go to get your clearance to go and serve your fatherland. Then you start having issues. You refer you back. It's really stressful on the part of those people, and we're grateful that JAMB is trying to resolve this issue between the universities and even the JAMB authority. Since you know that over 50% of schools are lacking furniture, do something about it. There's nothing bad even from your pocket. If you can have furnitures for school, it won't be bad. It will be to your account. So all this looking out for schools where you see school children sitting on the floor receiving being taught sitting on the floor is really bad. You see some schools dilapidated. How do you expect these children to have a conducive learning environment? We need to create a conducive learning environment to the children in school. So looking at all this, having furnitures for these students, and even the writing materials, you go to past on these people. Fccpc shuts down 30 accounts of illegal loan coins, and details can be found in page 25 of the Al Jazeera midweek. And that's all for Al Jazeera midweek.
Okay, look at the Daily Independent newspaper. PDP zoning committee meeting deadlocked. Buhari insists 2021 Finance Act empowers FRS to collect VAT. And on the Abuja Kaduna train attack, workers' union blames the railway management. With the rider, 8 bodies recovered, 26 persons injured, and several adopted. Senate asked Buhari to declare full-scale war against bandits. Wants the military to bombard terrorist enclaves to restore peace. Attack victims recount Halloween experiences and revenue from 2% to 4%, says the 50% of schools in Nigeria lack furniture, people sit on the floor. Tinubu calls off birthday over the Abuja Kaduna train attack, and detail of that can be found on page 6. This is coming from the PDP governors and Saraki. Africa needs investment opportunities more than ever. This is coming from Edumedu. With the rider receives 10 others at Lagos Airport. And the last story I will be taking here, say again, gunmen attack train station in Kaduna. And it's not something we would love to be reading often about, one attack after another. We just hope the security agency will do the needful. And that's all on Daily Independence.
On a New Telegraph, FDI's investment in telecoms declined by $310 million. Sector records zero capital importation in fourth quarter. Ascertained NNPC subsidiary CEO with arrest warrant. Pupils in 50% of schools in Nigeria sits on floor. This is from UBEC. And 2023, 2 brothers battle to succeed Umahi. Still on 2023, Kwankwaso formally joined NNPP, obtained membership card. The big story on Kaduna train attack. Terrorists targeted VIP coach. This is an investigation. The rider says forced their way in, screaming in what sounded like Arabic. This is coming from an eyewitness. Kaduna State government confirms 8 dead, 26 injured, several unaccounted for. Bandits bomb Gidan train station in fresh attack. Track down terrorists. Rescue kidnapped victims. Buhari orders security agencies. Senate demands full-scale war on terrorists, and how soldiers on board saved passenger. This is from Senator Kwari. Buhari threat liable. This is from FIRS. Warns against politicization of tax revenue. Still on 2023, PDP zoning committee meeting inconclusive. I will not resign as zoning owns. And from Abia, Abaribe wants PDP, declares party zoning decision as a huge joke. A study here links lack of sleep to abdominal fat. Details can be found in page 7, and that's all for the New Telegraph.
Okay, look at the Guardian newspaper. Shock as terrorists launch another train attack in 24 hours. With the rider Buhari to service chief, be more decisive, it lead to loss of lives on the Abuja Kaduna train. Osinbajo cancels Lagos trip visit Kaduna to condole with victims, and Tinubu calls off 70th birthday celebration over attack. Life is near worthless under APC, Buhari says the PDP, and NMA mourns Chinelo, decries worsen insecurity. Send up their game, and detail of that story can be found on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. We can also see a picture story here where the governor of the vice president Yemi Osinbajo at the 44 Nigerian Army, where he visited some of the victims that were being attacked on the Kaduna Railway. We can also see some security agency trying to look at the trainway. We actually hope that after observing and also seeing, they'll have an idea on what to do next time, because if there was another attack again, then that means we're saying that we are living safer. We're yet to hear him to also state the fact that this is what has happened and what they are planning to do, because him being the information arm of the government, we need something from him. And for better Nigeria, says Wike, the governor of Rivers State. PDP zoning meeting inconclusive as Kwankwaso decams join NNPP. And reps have threatened heads of NNPC subsidiaries with arrests over non-appearance. And the last story here, 11 killed, many injured in fresh Plateau Kaduna attacks. Detail of that can be found on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper.
And on Voice of Liberty, terrorists attack Kaduna Abuja highway a day after Monday's train bombing, kidnap dozen. Finally, Kwankwaso decamps, exit PDP to NNPP. Abuja Kaduna train attack will fight, defeat bandit terrorists. This is coming from the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo. And Tinubu cancels colloquium in honor of Abuja Kaduna train attack victim. This is the time of election. You see the human parts in the human side in our politicians. But after the election, they turned their back against Nigerians. We should not be carried away with all these acts that are being done. Let us see them doing the thing even while in position. If you feel you love Nigerians, if you feel you love your people, even while in position, show this act. Not before you assume such position. Now you see them doing all sorts of things, trying to carry Nigerians along with the feelings to make people feel that, okay, I love my country, I want to serve you wholeheartedly. But when you are given the mantle to serve, you see that what is happening. You see them happening in times when they are given those positions to serve. And the big story on Abuja Kaduna train attack, declare full-scale war on terrorists, bombard their enclaves. Senate cries out to military as Buhari orders troops to hunt down terrorists. The Senate has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to declare a full-scale war on gunmen terrorizing communities across the country. This call was made by the upper legislative chamber yesterday after the senator representing Kaduna Central, Ubasani, drew its attention to Monday evening attack on an Abuja-Kaduna bound train. Stop shielding subsidiaries if you have nothing to hide, reps tell NNPC boss. And the NNPC boss says, we have nothing to hide. Kaduna train attack, nothing to show Nigerians, elected a retired general. This is coming from the civil society. And terrorists came in bus, abducted VIPs from business class. Abuja Kaduna train attack survivor. Survivor says, railway management disregarded our advice on night movement technology. This is coming from the union. And that's all on the Voice of Liberty newspaper. But before we continue, we'll be right back after this timeout. Not to forget that we are live on Facebook. Do well to drop your comment. And after the break, our phone lines will be open. We urge you to call to talk about stories or things that are affecting you and even of interest to you. We'll be right back. for staying tuned on the dailies from Ekwa Television. I'm Owola Bitosin. Sele Elisha have been here with me, and we have been reviewing stories making headlines on our papers this morning. Moving to the next paper, Sele.
Okay, and on the leadership newspaper, the first story here says convention, APC has disappointed naysayers. This is coming from the Senate President Lawan. At last, Kwankwaso dumps PDP for NNPP. And federal government freezes over 30 accounts of illegal loan companies. And detail of that story can be found on page 7 of the leadership newspaper. National Assembly transmit constitution amendment bills to state assemblies. Detail of that also can be found on page 7. And Sorodu unveils 20 commissioners designates. Governors showcase state potentials at Dubai Investment Summit. And we have another story here that says fans on rampage after Ghana dash Nigerian hope of World Cup. And the big story here on Kaduna train attack, 8 bodies recovered, 26 injured, survivors narrate ordeal. And the rider say many still missing, hunt down the terrorists. President Muhammadu Buhari orders the serving chiefs. Zibanjo, Erufai, others visit victims in the hospital. And we can see the picture of some of the victims that have died. And we have a quick read here that says 24 hours after the attack on the Abuja Kaduna train on Monday, the authorities have confirmed 8 passengers dead and 26 others injured. And we actually hope that more will be done to safeguard the lives of people. And that's all on the leadership newspaper.
And on Daily Sun newspaper, PDP is saying will come up with acceptable positions on zoning, coming from the governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom. My presidency will make Nigerian better, says Wike. Outrage, tears trail Kaduna train attack. TUC Secretary, Kwara TUC Chairman, Medical Doctor, 5 others confirmed dead. Relations of passengers besiege hospitals. Bandits attack another station in Kaduna. Resign now, NBF youths, Afebwa tell Buhari. Bandits were teen, spoke strange languages. This is coming from survivor of the train attack. Kwankwaso dumps PDP join NNPP. Details are in page 8. And Nigeria's tax system fragmented, inefficient. This is from Buhari. Hails FIRS for surpassing 6 trillion naira revenue threshold. Tinubu cancels colloquium over Kaduna attack. And on 2023, Abia PDP zoning strange. Onyema Ugochukwu condemns appointment of elder committee chair against party constitution. Nigeria fumbles out of World Cup. Sele, when Nigerians were expecting, high expectations were on the Super Eagles to relieve people of the stress and even the tension that Nigerians are surrounded with. Then Super Eagles went and they did their own also there. But now we have to wait till 2026, and we hope that even in this waiting period, they should still learn other skills. They should not just be relaxed. Learn other skills so that even in 2026, you will make us proud. We still believe in them. They are our team. We believe in them, and we know that 2026, the first match they will play, they will make us proud. Nigerians should not be distracted at this point in time. We should not be sad over that. Such happens even in sports. We should be happy, and also we should believe in our Super Eagles that when they come out for their next outing, they will make us proud. And don't spare anybody wielding AK-47 unlawfully. Buhari orders service chiefs. The rider Senate to President bombard terrorist hideout. Worsening insecurity, depressing and disheartening, coming from Peter Obi. Downside, Soludo Summit Unwosu, 19 other commissioner nominee to assembly, with details in page 3. And the picture story here, we can see Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his wife Oluremi, and former Osun State Governor Chief BC Akande at 70th birthday prayer of Asiwaju in Lagos. That's all on the Daily Sun newspaper.
Okay, a look at the Punch newspaper. Poor Nigerians to hit 95.1 million in 2022, says the World Bank. This is really very, very sad statistics. Looking at our number in Thailand, there we're seeing that the number of poor Nigerians is getting high by the day. I actually hope that the federal government will look deeper into this too, because everything is still boiled down to the fact that there is no job. Even after you have been encouraged to go to school, there's nothing for the youth to fall back on, and still insecurity is another thing we are fighting. If we say we are the giants of Africa, then let's prove it, not just by our words but even by our action, and then other nations see that yes, Nigeria is doing something. We have all it takes to say. I always say this, we have lots of natural resources buried. All we need to do is dig deeper, think straight, make the environment conducive for those who are willing to dig deeper, and you'll see that Nigeria will be back again on its feet. So I just hope that we'll look into this number and see what can we do to liberate Nigerians from getting into that number in 2022. Customs hand over 3.9 billion naira troys, camouflage and others to army, and the state assemblies received 44 bills on constitution amendments. And we can see on the police salary increment, reps summon minister, accountant general and others. Detail of that can be found on page 27. And still on Kaduna Abuja train attack, Buhari National Assembly governors demand tough actions. Survivors recount ordeal. Outrage great killing of doctor, unionist government officials in Kaduna bound train attack. Airlines halt flight to Kaduna over the attack, and reps have summoned the NSA service chief, the IG too. I felt my soul leaving my body, recount survivor who saw another passenger shot. Other stories here, we have Ekiti, 75-year-old farmer escapes dead.
So I have a caller, Mr. Ogochukwu from Unsuka. Hello, Mr. Ogochukwu. Are you there, Mr. Ogochukwu?
Okay, still on the Punch newspaper, we have Ekiti, 75-year-old farmer escaped death in herdsman's attack. Detail of that can be found on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Yahoo boy mother jailed 5 years for receiving 91 million naira internet fraud largesse. And we have the OAU student's mother, Falana, seek flight to persecute hoteler and others. 3 Kwara killers, kidnappers shot dead, weapons and charms recovered. And the last story here. And the last story I'll be taking on the Punch newspaper, we have presidency, I won't bow to APC intimidation, declares Wike. Detail of that story can be found on page 8. And that's all on the Punch newspaper.
Mr. Ogochukwu is back. Good morning, Mr. Ogochukwu. Moving to the Vanguard newspaper, revenue from crude oil too volatile and unreliable. This is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. Why Access Bank is going holdco, and ex-Governor Kwankwaso of Kano State dumps PDP to NNPP. CBN bars credit guarantee companies for accepting deposits. And how gunmen stormed train rained terror on passengers. Anguish as 8 die, 26 injured, scores missing. Survivors' family recount ordeal. NRC suspends Abuja Kaduna train operators after bomb attack. Says 398 passengers bought tickets, 362 validated for trip. Buhari directs security agencies to rescue kidnapped passengers. Says no one should hold Nigeria to ransom. Calls for immediate repair of damaged lines, resumption of normal service. Bombard terrorist enclave. Senate tells military. We need helicopter, drones, orders to tackle insecurity on rail routes. This is coming from Amechi. Tinubu cancels birthday colloquium, and this is not just, we don't need, it's not just even on the rail routes. We need the helicopter and even the drones. We have our highways that are insecure now, so we need to do something about it. We should not just put much attention. Even the airport also in Kaduna, the airport was attacked, so we should not put much attention on our rail. If we put more attention on our rail, then what happens to our road? We've been talking about our roads to be in good state. How about our securities, those that are willing to work? Because you have the securities on the highway, but are they willing to work? You see that they've put the issue of selfishness and greed and even receiving of bribe as the order of the day. They don't even search cars any longer. If you have what it takes, the normal offering you should give them on the highway, then you can move. And you see people moving even with illegal arms in their car. They don't check because they give them what they are supposed to give them. But we need our securities, those that are willing to work, to be on our highway. Let this issue of greed, selfishness not overwhelm them with all this action. We need people who are willing to work on our highways. And the trails Peter Obi's declaration of presidential ambition. Soludo nominates 20 commissioners, 15 special advisors. On constitution review, National Assembly transmits 44 bills to State House of Assembly. On 2023, it's time for South to produce a Christian president. This is coming from Khan. On convention, APC bigwigs tax Adamu-led National Working Committee on winning 2023 polls. Mr. Lawan from Kano, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing over there? Good morning. How are you doing over there?
Are you there, Mr. Lawan?
I'm with you. I can hear you loud and clear. Hello? Hello?
Do well to call us back. I think we're having issues with our network. And the picture story here, those who were killed and those who were injured even in the train attack, and our heartfelt condolence goes to the family. May the Lord grant them the fortitude to bear this great loss. And that's all on the Vanguard newspaper. Okay. Mr. Bernard is on the line. Mr. Bernard from Kaduna, good morning.
Okay, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. We have 44 constitution review bills for House of Assembly. Detail of that can be found on page 7. PDP zoning battle shifts to autumn committee. And we have the writer aspirant engage proxies. Why Nigerians deserve a national career by Sarika. And we have Wimbledon Eagles fail to pick the World Cup ticket. Detail of that can be found on page 47. Other stories still on the Nation.
Mr. Ogochukwu is back. Good morning, Mr. Ogochukwu.
Hello. Good morning again. It's like it was a network issue. The issue of for goodness sake, I don't think if anybody would be in the right state of mind to play well, bearing in mind what is going on in this country now. Just in 3 days in succession, there has been attack on Nigerian life has been lost and blood has been shed. So the emotions of even the players, the way they were feeling, none of them was excited to play. They are very, very dull when you look at their face. I used to know Moses as someone who plays with dexterity, but yesterday he was very relaxed and tired to get better anyway. On the other hand, I want to speak about this issue of railway attack. For crying out loud, who are these men working for? Who are these men working for? From the activities, I know they are not working for the poor masses. Because if they are working for the poor masses, I think they should be able to mount pressure on the governor, on the state, on the federal government to do certain humanitarian projects or something that will improve the life of Nigerian youth or even the population. But nothing to do.
Thank you, Mr. Ugochukwu. Talking about the situation, the health situation of people, the mental situation of Nigerians, and he's trying to relate it to the Super Eagles match. Because if you look at the footballers on the pitch, they were not happy. There's no happy moments in our country because of all those things. Because one way or the other, you are affected. If your relatives are not affected, your community is being affected. And how do you expect someone to be happy when his or her community is filled with bloodshed? So we need to do something about it. And even this bombarding that is happening, the key security challenges that we are filled with in our country.
Very true. We're still on the Nation newspaper. We have 8 killed, 41 injured, and many hope that he will be finally found, and many others that are still missing from the train attack. The writer for the industry says Buhari ordered troops to track down Kaduna terrorists. 398 passengers on board. Survivors recount how attack happened. And Amechi, I don't know what to tell Nigerians. And we have here, they say, they are young boys. This is coming from one of the survivors. They are young boys, small boys. They should be between 18 and 20. They do not look like Nigerians, some in English. And looking at the age group, Tosi, imagine 18, 20. These are young kids that are supposed to be in school doing something with their lives. And we're having them involved in this. Imagine very young kids that took the lives of people. You will actually be able to tell that they were really brainwashed to do what they did. Who sent them? And that's why I keep hammering on the fact that we need to know who are the people who have, behind sponsoring all these terrorists. Because once we know who the sponsors are, then we'll be able to tackle it from its roots. But I don't know why the government is still holding on to that. It's possibly they're still working on it. But I know Nigerians are just wanting and they are hoping. They just don't want to hear that it's working in Abuja. They want to see the names. They want to see the people, because it's glaring here. We're having pictures of the attack. So we also want to see pictures of the people who are doing this. Names of companies, enterprises, whoever is involved in this, no matter how high and mighty you are, you should be brought down so that they will know that nobody is above the law. The law is set for everybody. We are all equal. So I just hope that the law will take its place finally when those who are responsible of this are being found. And the last story here saying Nigerians losing $14 billion annually to farmer herders clashes, says Uzibanjo. You can see the outcome of all these things. So we just hope that we'll really look into insecurity in this country.
Yes, on Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Governor Samuel Ortom is saying we will produce acceptable zoning formula for PDP. Rep summons AGF, Finance Minister, others over non-implementation of police new salary. Police foil attack on Dangote refinery in Lagos. Kaduna train attack, survivors recount ordeal with terrorists. We have a caller from Akwa Ibom. Good morning.
Hello? God bless you all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Please, for the issue of Nigeria now, why all this, both insecurity and others, is happening like this is because of Nigeria. Nigeria has, as your sister talked, that the flag of Nigeria has stained with blood. See, Nigeria is very big. And the people that are ruling us now, the people that are doing all this attack. Okay, look at Nigeria. They value cow more than human beings. How many people that them has killed? No compassion. But when they see their cow, these people will pay for cow 100 pesos, where all those Fulani people have killed. Nigeria is too big now. Nigeria needs to divide into going to see. I know that all these things we are saying is not confined them.
They don't even care about it. They are there eating their money, sending their children to abroad. No, Nigeria has finished. To tell you, there is no how they can arrange Nigeria again unless they will put youth for the president and governor, everything. Change all these people. All these people, they are one. They are one. I'm telling you the truth. So please, and I look into it.
The big story, Kaduna train attack. Survivors recount ordeal with terrorists. Our attackers were between 18 and 20 years. They were Fulani speaking Hausa, looked like Chadians and Nigerians. About 500 security personnel came to our rescue. 8 bodies recovered, 26 injured. Search continues. Relatives lament missing loved ones. Flood social media. NMA mourns Dr. Chinelu, a dentist, TUC loses General Secretary, Kwara Chairman, and BOA MD among the missing victims. Buhari directs integrated security surveillance. We have a caller from Kaduna. Good morning.
Hello?
Please go
Can you hear
on.
me? Good morning, how are you?
We are good.
Okay, I just want to correct one of the impressions around us here. I know we want to be diplomatic, but the issue of not Nigerians, they are not Nigerians. I don't believe that statement. Hello?
Can hear you. Go on.
So my statement here is straight. These are Nigerians, among us, these are Fulani, sorry to say it, because we have 100 reasons to claim.
Igbo Council's birthday, Oshibanjo service chiefs visit scene. Bombard terrorist enclave. Senate cries out to military. AEDC appoint Adeoye Fadeyibi as the MD. And Elumelu honored at Time 100 Impact Award as for hike in PMS price. Nigeria has recorded 120 deaths, 659 cases of Lassa fever this year, coming from NCDC. Federal government declares state of emergency on childhood tuberculosis. Efcc secures conviction of 2,220 for cybercrime, recovers over 152 billion naira. And this is from the Efcc chairman, Abdul Rashid Bawa. And this is how far we can go on the program this morning. Thank you, Sele, for doing this with me. Let's believe in our country. Let's pray for our country, and let's put hands together and be our brother's keeper and watch how things will work out well. Have a good morning.